Thank you very much, and welcome to the LEC post-game lobby. I'm QuickShot, joined by Ender, Caps, and Reckless. And the thing that I love the most is the moment Reckless and Caps sat down next to each other, the first thing you start doing is discussing the game, the decision-making, the considerations that went into it. Reckless, how was playing it? What was communication like? Because it looked hella chaotic from our side.
It felt that way to me as well, because I wasn't really a part of the action. So I was chilling in the bot lane, trying to learn how to play Karma. So it was kind of, I guess, it was a fun game, yeah.
You were just along for the ride while Broxah smashed.
Yeah, well, basically, like, we were thinking that if we don't take these specific champions, then enemy team draft is just too good. So we just had to kind of play them. And I was trying to practice it today in solo queue, but I didn't get that many games in. So it was a bit hard to learn on the fly, but my team was doing really well. So I guess I was just chilling in the bot lane. It was pretty nice.
Caps, how was it for you up in the top lane? It felt like you're playing 1v2 for a little while. A number of ganks coming your way. Now, we've got a lot of replays here.
That was so sick.
It's just going to be a whole string of kill after kill after kill.
He told me he thought you were going to E, not flash.
I don't think I had
so he was lucky.
Just pretend like he planned all along, Reckless, okay?
This one was good, though. This one was good. I wouldn't have hit that.
So, Caps, what was it like playing when, you know, obviously Fnatic and Reckless and his squad got so many advantages so early?
I mean, so it was pretty difficult. I think like, going into the game, I was like a bit nervous because obviously I was like playing top lane, and I didn't really like maybe like take in consideration that I should not be like too far up in top lane because it's a really long lane and you get chased down. So I ended up doing like a huge mistake, and I feel like Fnatic kind of snowballed from that pretty well. I think sure I TP'd back and got him as well, but then like I died to Broxah, and while it was like a 1-for-1, my wave was not that good. And honestly, like after that, it was just like so chaotic that I mean, I didn't really have a good overview of the game.
How surprised were you guys that Fnatic pulled this off with this draft?
Well, I played against him in solo queue this morning with Karma Pike, so I don't think they were that surprised because they banned Shen as well, so they knew for sure. But I guess we kind of figured that if we want to beat G2, we have to beat G2 in their own game rather than just like bring our own game to them.
Yeah,
because they're so crazy that if you don't meet them halfway at least, then they're just gonna beat you at it, right?
I think we actually looked at it for G2 stats, and between 15 and 20 minutes, they like triple their gold leads on average. But they usually don't get off to that big of an early game lead, whereas like Fnatic, you guys like really try to pop off. So I liked the idea of this composition where it was just like run at them over and over. You have TF, Karma to like speed up and try to make plays. On the other hand, if you guys didn't get an early lead, I think you guys get blasted.
You think we get outscaled this
I mean, you don't have an ADC, right?
No, we do. TF.
Oh, right! ADTF. Actually, though.
We were actually talking a little bit about it in the game, and we were thinking that we were going to outscale. So we weren't worried about laking.
No. ADTF totally makes sense.
We were worried about maybe map splits or just solo lanes not going well, but I don't know what happened. It's just going down.
Explain to me where this performance comes from, Reckless. Now, obviously, Summer Split has been fantastic from both of your squads, but now undefeated 5-0. There seems to be an energy, there seems to be a fire that is not quite easy to see. So where does the strength come from?
I think everyone was just really sad after Spring Split because after winning both splits, going to World Finals, it was kind of hard, I guess, to finish third. Usually teams are pretty happy about finishing third, but for us, it's like the world is going under, so we were kind of motivated, I guess, for summer to prove that we're actually better than what we showcased in spring. So I think everyone just came in with a lot of motivation. And after the first week where all the jitters were being shown, I think everyone realized that we're actually a good team and we can do this and actually take down G2 as well.
Yeah, I feel like a big transformation for you guys has been actually putting a lot of resources into Nemesis in the mid lane. Like this is your second or third game where there have been consistent ganks towards mid early on. You have tower dives in that too. Whereas like last split, he was just the roam god. You know, he would go top bot whenever wave is crashing and get a kill.
I'm trying to repay him the favor now by walking around after him and shielding him.
Double TP's bot lane every single game. Yeah, but he's looking really good now.
Yeah, he's great. He's always been great. I think he was playing well last split as well. It's just hard to 1v9, I guess, on Lissandra or whatever else he was playing.
Now, Caps, what was the feeling like after the Nexus went down? Because when everybody was giving high fives and congratulations off the game, it was smiles across the board. I mean, even you guys. But like, how does it feel and how do you react?
Well, I mean, it's like pretty sad, right? Like you want to win every game, especially against, I mean, Fnatic obviously fall as well before this game, so it was like an important game for us. But I think just like the way of the game, it just felt like so so weird, you know. It felt like so many fights, so many stuff going on, and especially I felt like, I mean, like if I don't laugh at this, then I will cry at it, you know. And
So you've obviously seen how G2 Esports beats teams, right? You've watched your own games and VODs. How did it feel to be on the receiving end?
I mean, yeah, I realized pretty early on that it was like going a bit the opposite side of how it usually goes. So it did feel pretty bad, and it felt like also kind of like hopeless in a way as well, because we are usually really good at problem solving, but it just felt like there's not really any solution in this case. I mean, for sure, there's like some things we could have done better, like once we fell behind, but I think it became like pretty difficult. And I mean, obviously, like Pyke TF is like Pyke Karma is really hard to engage on, and TF has like the global, he's like basically everywhere. So it was like kind of only when Renningson we could really go on, and even he was like so strong that, yeah, it's not gonna be a good fight.
Well, look, when you're playing Akali into TF, you can also just go everywhere. We actually did quite your point of view replay following the TF ultimate.
Oh,
Wait, you did?
Yeah.
So you probably didn't see it, but literally Nemesis was using Destiny from Raptor Camp to go top lane, and Caps tagged him with everything.
It was a blind E, by the way. You didn't even see him.
Blind E.
I've
I've just heard from production that we're going to get it up on screen so we can take a look. But like, did you know, how far ahead did you know you were going to pull this off?
Well, I mean, basically, I mean, we already know it here, right? Because we were fighting top, and TF started moon towards top. And we actually had this like kind of situation. And
This is such a stupid interaction.
we had this situation like scrims like a week ago. So we just went for it again, you know.
What do you think when you see that? What did Nemesis think when he got taken out? Like,
I think that was the moment where Weevo was almost 1v2 in top, right?
I mean, I didn't see the fight really, but I guess
I'm pretty sure Weevo
he was
for TP
alone
earlier, and then Nemesis was hesitating a little bit, and then he went in, and then he realized that he was gonna die as well a little bit after. So I think they were actually confident that they could fight topside. I don't think they were scared. I think they were just not on the same page.
They probably didn't predict the Akali following that.
how can you possibly do that? I've got an interesting communication and in-game conversation question, because obviously for Fnatic this is a new look, at least for us on stage, and seeing you guys win in this chaotic style. For G2 being under that much pressure, also new look. So how much does your team comms change in a game like this when you're both 4-0, it's G2 Fnatic, like all the stakes, all the pressure?
For us it wasn't that different. Maybe it was a little bit different for me and Helios specifically, because we're kind of role swapping in this one. So I had to take over the vision game and maybe more to like remind him of doing waves and stuff, because there was a moment I think this game where we pushed in bot and then we went mid, and then he kind of forgot that he has to lane as well. So I was trying to tell him that he has to go catch the farm, because I can't do it right. So I ended up getting my item pretty late because we weren't really laning together, but otherwise it was kind of fine. I think everyone was just having a good time actually. So I don't know how it was for you guys, but
I did notice your karma looks like it's improved since you played it last. I think that was over a year ago too.
To be fair, I haven't played much of Karma, but I feel like it's an easier combo to play when you pair it with a Pyke than with, I think I played with maybe a Morgana back then or something, so it was a little bit harder to lane.
Yeah, also when,
Pyke is actually like a
when
really
the win
strong
rate
champion,
goes
so.
up by 5% in solo queue,
Yeah.
the champion might feel a little easier to play. I don't know.
Just a little bit.
So, Caps, I got a question for you now. Is this style of gameplay the direction that the meta and the league is going to be going? This crazy, chaotic, always go, go, go?
I mean, it looked like that for like a long time, basically like all spring and also Worlds. But actually, like I feel like a lot of the games have been a lot slower. Like today, I was watching basically all the EU games, and basically every game was 0-0 at like 10 minutes, 0-0 at like 20 minutes, and we were joking around saying like, okay, we're gonna have at least 10 kills at 10 minutes, like both teams, right? And I mean, I think we had like in total 9 kills at 10 minutes, so we like almost hit the goal, but we were still like 1 kill off.
I love the fact that G2 is saying we're going to have 10 kills a team as like a mini game going into one of the biggest matchups. But then when you look at some of the other teams, like can the Origin style or the Splice style of that really controlled gameplay, can it contain both of you guys?
I mean, I'm not worried. Are you worried?
I mean, I'm pretty confident going up against everyone, but I was also pretty confident going up today, and I like really ended it and feel like I kind of ruined the game because, well, I just went top and ended, right? So I think we still have a lot to work on, and we still have to reach back to like a state in the meta where we're confident in both the picks and like how to play it out, and then I'm pretty sure that we can beat.
It's definitely going to make the rematch between G2 and Fnatic a little more exciting. Let's quickly take a look at the league standings. Fnatic alone in first place at 5-0. Now the conversation switches back to Fnatic. Will there be another 18-0 run since you've now shut Caps and G2 up after the...
Yeah, they look pretty easy today. I don't know.
You know?
Well, we've done most of the hard schedules so far, so round 1 should be okay. But then, obviously, as you said earlier, there's the G2 matchup again. Origin's looking good. SK is looking pretty good as well. So
how good is the rest of the field? Because it feels like G2 and Fnatic are very clearly a step above. Then it kind of feels like Origin, and then you drop more tiers. Is that fair?
I'd say it's pretty fair, yeah.
Caps,
similar to last split, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure. I think we are in a weird position right now because it feels like we have maybe a lot of sketchy early games on both on stage and scrims, but we usually come back. I mean, today we didn't, but usually we just make it like a really good comeback. And our game's also very fiesta like this game. So maybe we have to turn it down a bit, or maybe we just have to go all in on this, right? But I feel pretty confident going up against all the teams under us.
Okay, I like this. Now let's turn our attention looking forward. Next week, Rift Rivals. Obviously Origin, and the two of you guys are going to be going. Caps, I want you to tell me if Fnatic will drop any games to the LCS teams.
It's like one game against each team, right? And then a best of 5 or something?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I have no idea. I guess it depends on how serious they take it. I think that they can go undefeated, but again, it's best of 1s, and they play around 4 or 5 best of 1s. I mean, I will say that they lose one game.
Lose one game. Have you watched a lot of LCS this summer?
Not really.
Not a huge amount. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So
then you're losing one game as well.
MSI finals.
You're losing one game as well then.
Okay.
Okay, so 2-1. So you're confident G2's going to drop a game?
Yeah, well, they have to if we have to.
Maybe two.
Otherwise, not fair.
Maybe two.
No, just one. I'll give you one.
And we lost one game last year, right?
Well, I wasn't playing, but I remember you had a casting game.
Yeah, that's true. We lost that one.
You had a casting in Vlad. Wait, no. Yeah, Vlad, right?
We had
Casting and Vlad in the same team, didn't you?
Yeah, I remember W3D1 had 3 Emma items or something.
Yeah, I remember.
On Kaiser.
How well will Origin do against the LCS teams?
2 losses.
Yeah, sounds fair.
Gang mentality. And obviously, I think you've watched a few more LCS games. So how do you think EU reps are going to stack up against
They
NA?
just have way too little confidence in EU. They're not. No EU's team is going to lose a game. Come on, guys. It's easy.
Sure.
Did you not see the finals? G2 versus Team Liquid. It was like a 70-minute series, I think. 3-0.
Yeah, that's true.
And Fnatic just beat you, which makes them better than G2. I think is how that works. So they should beat TL in less than 70 minutes. I don't know.
That's true. But
I mean, the math adds up.
But then again, we also lost to Buffalo twice.
Yeah, but they're
and
not in Rift Rivals.
TL in groups.
They're
We
not
lost
in
to TL in
Rift
groups.
Yeah, but best of 1s don't count unless it's Fnatic versus OG.
What I love is...
But this is best of 1s.
Ender's trying to tell you you're the best and not going to drop anything, and you're trying to say, no, we're actually going to lose stuff. So we've entered a bizarre world. Look, let's turn our attention to tomorrow. We got a couple more games coming up. Significantly easier strength of schedule here, shall we say. G2, you guys are going to be playing up against Rogue, and of course, Fnatic coming up against XL. XL's roster changes. Do you want to chime in? What do you make of Jessler and Mystique's coming in?
I think they are probably more keen to do stuff in the laning phase, but lack in other areas, maybe. I'm honestly not so sure. I feel like it's fine either way.
Yeah. Obviously, Fnatic, huge favorites here, right?
They played Sona Taric, so it's really hard to judge them in terms of comparing them to other bot lanes right now. I don't have amazing hopes for this team even after the roster changes. We're just gonna have to see them play more games.
Now for Caps, I've just read that and heard that Misfits will be substituting Maxlaw and Febiven out. Kirei and Leader will be coming in. Do you know much about Leader at all? Have you played against him solo queue?
Yeah, I mean, I've played against him a lot in solo queue, right? And I also watched a bit of EU Masters, so I know he's a really asset, these kind of champions. So that's gonna be fun to watch. They're playing against Schalke, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's better than Febiven. I think maybe they just ban out Aurelia, maybe even ban Zed, and then maybe he doesn't have the best shampoo left.
Do you think this could be a solution to the Misfits problems that they've been having in terms of the success?
Well, it's a way of trying something new, I guess. They probably want to aim for more than they are reaching right now. Right now, it looks like they'll at best finish top 4 maybe. So it's definitely worth a shot. And maybe Leader is actually really good, and he managed to pop off on the big stage, and then suddenly they have a challenge for the throne, right?
Yeah, I mean, so looking at their game today, I think Maxler was he just didn't do anything in the early game, honestly. And I think when we say Kirei and Leader are coming in, we expect to see Misfits play more for early game. Around those melee champions is what Leader was really known for at U Masters. But like the Zed you mentioned, he was first picking that, blind picking that champion, just like still popping off. But also Yasuo was in there. The only champion I think he lost to in lane was like a Renekton mid counter pick. So this is a player that's super, I want to say feast or famine in a way, where he goes for the pop-off picks, the pop-off plays, and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's an exciting look now for Misfits, but ultimately very hard to judge whether or not it will be a positive or a negative one.
Okay, we'll have to see how well they perform tomorrow up against Schalke. I've only got one more set of questions for the two of you. It's very early in the split, and it's very unfair, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's assume that the three Rift Rivals teams in Fnatic, G2, and OG are going to make playoffs. I think that's a safe bet. Which are the next three teams that you believe will be in playoffs and have a shot to make it to Athens? I'm going to give the players some time to think, and Ender, make you have the honors of telling me first.
Oh boy. Okay, this is actually a difficult one, I think. I think I would put Splice in there for sure. I think they've shown like the consistency to definitely be a 4-6 team with potential, you know, be like up towards the top end of that. I think SK is another good bet. With the way they've been playing, and I think Crownshot in particular has had some very good performances with Sakurai coming in too. I think they are definitely a playoff team in my eyes if we were to go to playoffs now, let's say. The last one gets really, really difficult because I want to say Misfits, but with the changes they've been doing in their roster, they just lost a game to SK as well, that I think I would lean towards them. But ultimately, that sixth spot is the one I'm least confident on.
Caps?
I think just go with something like Splice, SK, Schalke.
I'd go for the same.
What specifically about the three teams or individuals makes them stand out amongst the rest? Reckless?
I think the other teams are just not as good. It's not even like those three teams specifically are great. It's just other teams aren't as good. So they kind of just get in there. Sort of how we got in there last split. At least that's how it felt to me.
I mean, you guys won like 9 of your last 10 games or something.
It felt to us like we were preying on everyone else not being good.
You were at a position, I think, where you had to have other teams lose, even though you were doing so well because the start was really rough.
How is it like scrimming and playing in EU where you have such a stark level gap? We've had so many years of competing at this level and different regional strengths, right? But now it's so clear that the top teams are so far above the rest. Like, does it hurt you in terms of practice when you go to international events? And is it something you guys think about and talk about?
I mean, it's hard to judge if it hurts us because we don't know what if we actually had better scrims, how that would impact us going into international tournaments. But for sure, I think we would like to get more, maybe challenge more in scrims. I think a lot of our scrims get very trolly, but that's also because we don't feel like we get challenged that much. And obviously we haven't scrimmed that much because the split just started. Yeah. But I still feel pretty confident going into the international competition because both NA and LCK are not looking that strong right now. And while LPL are looking pretty scary, I think we can always hope on NA getting them out somehow.
I don't know if we'll get that magic again. Look, Caps, Reckless, thank you so much for joining me on PGL. Congratulations, Reckless. It was a hell of a game. There is more League of Legends coming up in LCS Academy, starting at midnight with Cloud9 Academy versus CLG Academy. After their last game, we'll have a rebroadcast of today's action in the LEC. Make sure you watch these guys' games. It was fantastic. That's all from us. Thank you. Join us tomorrow for the final day of Week 3 here in the LEC. GG!
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Because so far, all these middle teams have only really played the Fnatics and G2s of the world and the Excels and the Vitalities.
Yeah.
We haven't had a ton of games of them competing against each other, and that's what today is all about.
Mowgli trying to walk him down, but there's a lot of damage being fired back, but Team flashing over the wall. Mowgli in the midst of no man's land, and suddenly the fight is starting to turn. Jizuke, not a lot left, uses the storm to tear off a combo in the midst of everything, and that's a meat grinder. Jizuke moving forward, that's the crescendo, trying to delete the Sona, but no, the Seraph situation is still there. Mowgli taken down, combo on the backside, Attila though, free firing into the back line, the Boris is untouched. Xerxes jumps in, the Cataclysm used, but then straight into the Impale. Broken Splite's already fallen, Cersei gets out. Nard's just about to come up and knocks back Inspired. Crucial barrage from Splite. It's a double. The humanoid and Splice come out on top.
Inspired has to be able to find Kabi. Instead, they get poked out and pushed back. The Elder Dragon is started up again, and it's taken down by Cersei.
Cersei gets it into a great Nard from Vizicachi. He pulls all of Rogue back into the team, and there's no escape.
They're dashing, they're funny, they're singing for free.
Mary, Mary, if this euphoria isn't your dream, Mary, Mary. Schalke going for cold, has the flank, straight into the Cataclysm, straight into their demise. Schalke lose 2.
He didn't have his flash available. We can see here, great utilization of the Ezreal ultimate to actually... Oh, never mind, never mind. We'll ignore that one, thank you, observers. A little bit too much damage. Low stuff there, but they're looking for the kill anyway.
With the Nard, indeed.
It's not actually allowing G2 to gain any...
There's no way you should be able to hit that. Cap's still able to get away, but Hillisang on the chase couldn't quite land the Tiamat. Hillisang, he's vying for the best pike in Europe. Cap's strong. No way.
Can be a little difficult to see.
Slashes in and takes out Perks. Kills him with the ruthless predator and Fnatic are hungry for blood. They're on the hunt. Destiny comes out, but Nemesis chasing onto Caps. He took his squad. He'll take his life. Fnatic are destroying G2.